Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the Moments Podcast. I am in a very special place with a very special person right now, and I'm going to tell you who it is. But first, I'm going to tell you to get excited for a Moments Collection too, because we just did a photo shoot for it, and it was literally so much fun. Like, I was really nervous. I don't know why, but it was really fun, and I'll talk to you about that later, but I'm telling you who my guest is. Anyways, introducing...
Hey, it's Hannah.
It's Hannah. Surprise. This has probably been the most requested podcast episode since ever.
Really?
And it's just because we were roommates, and then people would always be like, you should record with Hannah, and forever I would always get those comments, and I still get them.
You're like, hell no.
And I was like, no, the time was just never right. It never happened, and now we're finally doing it. This is such a big step.
Dude, it is.
And it's happening.
Oh gosh, I'm happy to be here. I'm nervous.
I'm happy you're here. I'm nervous too.
I'm not really I don't go on. This is your podcast. You do podcasts. I don't really go on podcasts, so I'm like,
it's always so fun because when I do it by myself, it's I'm in my own little bubble and I'm isolated. It's like sitting and talking to your Snapchat memories. It's easy, but then it's you got to do it in front of people, and you're like, oh crap, what's my name again?
Do you feel like it's easy to do it alone?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes I notice that time goes by faster when I do it with my friends.
Okay.
But when I'm doing it on my own, I guess I just don't get as nervous because I'm by myself.
Yeah.
But then it's easy when I'm not recording with random strangers where I have to be anxious. I'm recording with, someone I've lived with for a year. I think that we can handle this. I'd be concerned if we couldn't.
Dude, it's just an hour of me talking. I'm like,
I know. What are we going to talk about? Anyways, I posted on my Instagram story a little box, and I said, what do you guys want to know? And of course, you guys asked the craziest questions, and we're going to answer as many of them as we can. But, anyways, first question we should probably start out with is how we met, because I think people are confused about that one. Yeah. Because it was so random. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. We have to think all the way back to quarantine here.
Wait.
It was TikTok.
Sorry, I'm just confused if we're having a conversation or if we're recording. Fuck. Okay.
Well, we basically are having a conversation.
Yes.
But this thing's just on.
Okay. True. Which is so true. So true.
So we met on TikTok during quarantine. I started making videos.
Yes.
Hannah made videos, and I didn't watch YouTube growing up or anything, so I didn't really know anyone in that scene, and I guess we had followed each other.
Yeah. And
then I got a Snapchat from a girl that I used to do beauty pageants with back in 2016. So I haven't talked to this girl in 4 years. And she chatted me and goes, meanwhile, I used to think Hannah's last name was Meloche. You told me
that today.
Yes, I literally told her that today. And the girl Snapchatted me and was like, Hannah Meloche follows you. And I'm just saying it like that because that's how I read it. And I was like, who the heck is Hannah Meloche? So then I went and I looked at your TikTok and I was like, oh, this girl's really cool. I want to be friends with her. And then I think that we just started DMing on TikTok and then on Instagram. And then we would send each other Snapchat videos all day
the
long.
Time.
Literally,
vlogs.
Yeah, we were best friends on Snapchat for, I would say it was months before we ever made plans to hang out or do anything.
Well, we were so wholesome. In quarantine, we sent each other care packages.
Oh my gosh.
Remember
care packages. Dude. Oh my gosh, and that's when you sent me the Tarte palette that I still use every single day.
Oh
Today I was doing my makeup, and I was showing Hannah that I still use a palette that she did with Tarte literally 2 years ago.
3 years ago. 3 years ago.
And I only use 2 of the things in it. But I'm I don't know what I'm going to do when this is gone.
I know, it's running out and I don't have many left over.
She's you actually can't have any more. She's I only have one more and it's not for you.
Really, really space that out.
But. Yeah, I'm going to take it nice and slow. But yeah, that was funny. And then we sent each other care packages, and at one point she was like, I want to get out of Michigan. I'm going to move to Florida. And I was like, heck yeah.
Wait, no. Yeah. I was trying to go to college with you.
Yes, we were going to go to college together.
Oh my gosh.
We were fully going to move into an apartment together, go to school together, and go to FAU tailgates
I applied.
all day. Yeah.
I literally applied.
Wow. That's just so crazy for me to think about, the fact that
no one
it
knew
all
that
started
either.
there. And we didn't talk about it. No. It was so, I was like, yeah, Mom, I have this new friend. She's from Michigan. And basically that's what went on for months. And then I think that we decided we didn't want to go to school in person, or something happened. And then
why didn't we?
I think you got in for spring, and it happened to be fall. So we were like, oh, we'll just do it maybe in the spring.
No, yeah. And then you came to Michigan for fall.
Yes.
Went to Mackinac Island.
That was random too. That trip was so just that was the first time I met Anna too, and Natalie, which is so crazy.
It was me, you, Anna, Natalie, went to Mackinac Island in what, 2019?
2020.
Oh my gosh. I like, dude, 20 and 21 just like
no, time
blur.
literally flies. The fact that we've known each other for almost 3 years now.
No, that's like,
and lived together for a year, and I feel like I just met you. Almost.
Like coming
quarantine.
up in the spring will be when
we met during quarantine.
Yeah.
And quarantine was 2020.
Almost 3 years.
Holy crap.
Where did the past 3 years go?
No, I don't even want to. Why did that give me actual goosebumps to think about?
It's bad.
Anyways, that's where it started, and then one day we kind of just decided that we were going to do a trip together, and we couldn't go anywhere out of the country because it was still kind of like COVID. Well, it was COVID, I guess, but you could travel in the country. So we were like, we're going to go to Hawaii for like a month, and that was the plan.
Yeah.
That was it. Hannah's like, oh, like my friend Mare's going to come too, but she's kind of scared of flying. Like, do you want to... And I've told you guys this story before, like when we told you how Mare and I met, because it was literally at the airport then.
Yep.
But she's like, will you fly over with her? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Why not? So I fly to Michigan. Mare and I fly over. We're supposed to be here for a month. 10 days later, Hannah and I, impulsive as heck, are like, all right, yeah, let's just sign a year-long lease. And then that's where it really all started. Like, when people ask questions like, how did you end up in Hawaii together? Like, that's how.
Yeah.
We were here for not even 2 weeks. And we fell in love with it because how could you not? We love the ocean. We love swimming. We were with all our friends. And we were like, all right, yeah, a year sounds like a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
And now somehow, like, it's so weird that we're in the same spot recording at that, like, we decided that we were going to stay. I don't know. It's just crazy to think about. Like, so much has changed.
But it's also weird. It hasn't even been 2 full years. Doesn't it feel like it's been a lifetime?
It does feel like I think it's because in, like, the age that we're at is where, like, this is where we're growing up so much. Yeah. And, like, so much is changing in our life. And it's such a... Growth. I don't know, your early 20s are such a valuable time in your life because I think that's when you really figure out where you're at and like what you're going to do and who you're going to be. So like the fact that we were a part of each other's makes I think time fly but also move so slow. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just crazy to think about. And that's kind of how we met. And then I think that's really it. Like that's how it went. It was that quick. It was that easy. And then Mare was only going to live with us I think for like a couple months originally. She was just going to stay out there for a little. And then all of a sudden, it was all of us till the end. And then I think, like, summertime came that year, and we all split up a little bit. Like, I went home for a while. Yeah. You went home for a little. We all just kind of...
Oh, gosh.
And then we all came back.
Oh,
and
we
then
were
we did it
all
over
the
again.
place.
What? I don't know. We have... Also, I think that we need to address the comments over the fact that, like, anytime Hannah and I don't hang out or, like, don't post together for a little while, everyone's like, you guys hate each other? Are you even friends? Literally. Like, do you guys still like each other? And I'm like, guys... Of course.
I don't know how though. We just like never end up like having alone time.
We never have. And oh my gosh, Hannah and I did this one thing in the wintertime this year. We went to this like hotel to just like go have a little staycation, and we get to the hotel and we realize we're like, have we ever hung out alone? No. Because we think back to like the first time we met. No, we were in a group setting, and then when we moved here, we were never alone.
We were literally never alone.
It's crazy. Like I think this is actually our first time having like a trip / long period of time like being together,
and I'm so happy about it.
It's actually so cool. I'm like, wait, I've known this girl for almost 3 years, and we're just getting to know each other. Not really,
but like also we really haven't had a ton of alone time.
It's crazy. Isn't that weird to think about? Like I feel like you guys will be confused by that too, because you would think that we have. I don't know. It's crazy,
and it's not a bad thing, but it's just like
it's cool.
We just never.
It only took us 3 years. Like, what the heck is up with that? Yeah. But yeah, people always comment like, "Oh, you guys are beefing," da 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 da, and I'm like, I don't think that we ever really beefed. I think there were different times where we were like in the same place at different stages in life, so like it seemed like we weren't as close. Yeah. And like obviously. That's life. Like when you live with someone, we have our ups and downs. Yeah. We fought like siblings half the time over like, oh no, not the dishes, or like, oh, like you're going to do that instead of this. Like, I don't know. You guys have all had, well, I actually can't say you guys have all had roommates. Anyone who has had a roommate, like,
that there's like little things where you just be like, all right,
yeah,
like let's talk for a second.
Or like, so actually, what's so funny? This is something that's so interesting about Hannah and I. I am the most confrontational person of all time. Here it comes. And Hannah will say it exactly how it is.
No, I literally be like, all right, let's just address the elephant in the room. Like, I can't keep my mouth shut. Like, we're talking about the situation, like, right now, and we're getting this over with.
And I'll run out of the room. I will, like, brush things under the rug forever because I just don't, I get so scared of it. And I think that that's something we learn from each other. Yes. Like, I learned so much from you how to stand up for myself and be like, you know what? Actually, we are going to talk about this. And I think that, like,
dude, and as you should.
I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm like, I get why she does this now. And it solves problems
so much faster. Like, let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
All right? Like, so you know it. I know it. Let's just talk about it.
And now,
love you. Kisses, hugs. Done.
And we move on. I'm like, that. So that's it. Yeah, actually, someone asked, like, roommate advice. I think that the biggest thing in having a roommate is just being able to communicate.
Totally.
And, like, that's always something, even when I had my roommate in college, like, I'm, again, not one to talk about things. So I just kind of, like, let things build up. And then she also didn't talk about things. So obviously we never had any issues. But moving forward, if I ever live with someone again, just talk about it when it needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
And then move on. And then you don't have to think about it. And then it's just simple. Mm-hmm. That's my number one tip. What's your number one tip?
Number one tip would also be just communicating and just like, hey, like, love you. Like, this is where I guess if you have boundaries, like, this is where my boundary is. And just kind of explain where you're coming from. Make sure you're both on the same page.
Yeah.
And just like try and make it as cozy and comfortable as an environment as like, and transparent.
Yes,
like, just be transparent because you guys like.
It can be simple.
Yes.
Like, honestly, as far as like us being roommates, I don't think we had, like, when I think of roommate issues, I think of, oh, like, there's always like one roommate who like never cleans anything or is like dirty or gross. Like, we didn't have ever issues like that.
Except for the one time,
funny story.
She just told me this last night.
I've never been able to tell Hannah this, and I don't know why. I guess I was just scared to tell her. But one time, Meredith and I. So, where do I start the story here?
Okay, well, I didn't know I was even bad at dishes.
Hannah never knew she was bad at dishes.
I'm just like delusional
because she wasn't bad at dishes. I'm not like, when I say she was bad at dishes, it's not like she like left things out or like things were dirty and gross for like days at a time. There was just every once in a while she would use a pan and just kind of leave the pan in the sink, like rinse it out and everything, but it would just sit in the sink.
I would just leave it in the sink.
Yeah,
like I don't remember this.
You didn't like leave it in there with food on it. Like it was fully rinsed out. And
I just wouldn't dry it.
Or yeah, exactly. And Mary and I every time would just like we would need to use the pan, so we'd just finish washing it, dry it off, and use it.
Like
so it
what
wasn't
an asshole move on my part. Like come on.
No, this was petty of us too though, and we would just like use it, and then this kind of kept happening. And one day we were like, let's see how long it takes her to clean the pan. And then it was like 4 days or something. And we and Mary used the other pan. And I remember we just laughed so hard and we wanted to tell you so badly.
Oh.
But then it was just hard to, I don't know. I was scared to tell you.
Well, I didn't even know I did that. That's the thing. Is like, like
sometimes it's like second nature. Like I leave my cups everywhere because I like forget that they're cups. I'm like, it's just a cup. I'll just get to it eventually. And then I grab a new cup and then I'm like, oh, there's 3 cups on the table and they're all mine. But you live and you learn.
Yeah. Apparently, I just need to like, even there's these even pans sitting out right now. Like I need to put those away. Like why are they sitting right there?
I'm like, why do we have everything out?
Exactly. But I think it's like a fault. I don't know why I do that.
But the thing is, I learned, we never kind of realized what problems we cause living with people because usually the other person like takes care of it and notices it.
Yeah.
But I learned, it wasn't until I lived alone.
Right.
That's when I was like, wait, do I not like put my laundry away? Like, do I not do my laundry? Like, it's not like when I lived alone is when I realized that like, oh, I don't empty the dishwasher or like I don't do my laundry when I should. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but usually if you have roommates, someone always picks up someone else's slack.
Yep.
Like if I say I'm not someone who takes the trash out, another roommate would always take the trash out.
Yep.
It is cool. It's just one of those things you live and you learn and you balance. And I think that having roommates is just so valuable because again, like you learn from each other.
Yeah.
And you learn like what your own flaws are and like what your strengths are in a living situation.
Yeah.
And I always think of it like, okay, when I live with someone and I find like the person I'm going to marry or whatever, I want to make sure that there's someone who likes to do the dishes and likes to take out the trash because those are 2 chores I don't like to do.
Yeah.
And like I think that, I don't know. I guess that doesn't really have to.
See, I don't really mind taking out the trash.
And look at that. Like that's why we worked because you took the trash out and I did the dishes.
Yes.
And that, or I sweep the floor. I love sweeping the floors.
Okay, I hate sweeping.
Dude, our floors, you guys, in our apartment,
disgusting.
I could just like throw up thinking
literally
about it.
Disgusting.
Because what we would do is like if we would drop something on the floor, we just kick it like under the fridge or under the little ledge, like under the cabinets, because we didn't have a working vacuum. Like every time we went to use the vacuum, it was broken. Yeah. Like, it was disgusting in our house. It was really gross.
I feel like it was mostly, like, no one really, like, it was just the common area was one little
It's
space.
so strange because it's not like we were dirty people. And I felt like we cleaned the place all the time, but I think it's just the coming in and out and bringing sand. And, like, at that point, we would have friends over all the time, too, and, like, have little get-togethers, and then things just get messy. And people drop food on the floor. Ugh. Anyways, moving on. We don't have that dirty place anymore, so...
It was a nice place.
It wasn't ever dirty until we made it dirty.
Yeah, like...
Except our couch. Do you guys know how many people laid on that couch?
Slept on the couch.
So many people.
Yeah. That was a good couch.
It was an iconic couch.
That was a really, really good couch.
We really do have so many memories in that place. And I feel like everyone listening to, you guys have an attachment to that place too. Like that mirror, that's going to be a core memory forever.
I know.
Hannah and I,
I'm going to have to get a mirror like that.
You have to get the exact same mirror.
The exact.
Go steal it. Like break it. We know the code. I wonder if she changed the code.
She probably
definitely changed the code.
I would hope so because
she knows we'd go back in too. No, but Hannah and I this whole trip have really just been talking about how much has changed every time that we come here.
Yeah.
Like what's so cool about being here, I think, is that there's always new people coming and going. So every time you come back, it feels like it's a whole different place. Mm-hmm. But also nothing changes.
No, literally nothing changes.
It's wild. Anyways, we're going to go back to the questions because I don't know how we went from how we met each other to an iconic couch. Anyways.
Yeah.
I really liked this one. Like, someone asked, what advice would you give a senior in high school? And we were just talking about how we miss high school.
Yeah.
So I think this is a cool one. I think that my advice is simply to appreciate being a senior in high school because it goes by in a blink of an eye. And I remember when I was a senior, I was so ready for it to be over. And I was so ready for the next chapter of my life. Mm-hmm. And don't get me wrong, it's been a great chapter of life. But also, I wish that I didn't spend all of my senior year waiting for it to be over. Because one day you will miss it. And you'll be like, oh, shoot. Dang it. I grew up.
Wait, you were kind of waiting for it to be over?
Yeah. Like, I was so excited to graduate. I was so excited to go to college. I was so excited to be independent, have my freedom, have my college apartment, and, like, have no curfew, no parents telling me what to do. Mm-hmm. And, like, I loved senior year while it was happening. But at the same time, I couldn't wait for the next chapter. And then I went to college, had all that freedom, got super depresso, and immediately just missed being in high school. Yeah. And, like, Hannah and I were also just talking about, like, we kind of missed the structure of high school. Yeah. Like, one day you're going to have to figure out a schedule that works, and it was convenient at high school because it was just there for you. Yeah. You didn't have a choice. But
I feel like that's how I thought of it, too, of, like, going to school. I loved, like, freshman, sophomore, junior year were probably, like, horrible for me. Like that. I mean, that they were
like they actually sucked.
They were horrible, but like I think that's why I probably loved senior year because I
appreciate it.
Finally was like, you know what, like fuck all the years before this. I'm going to make this year the most amazing year because I have to be here. Yeah, like I literally have to be here. Like I have to finish high school. Mindset. So I am going to like make the best out of homecoming. I'm going to make the best out of this, best out of that. I'm going to work my ass off in school and on YouTube. Like, I'm going to literally, I have to be here. I have no other option. So why not? Like,
it's one of those things where it just kind of goes to show that, like, as much as it can be hard to take control of our mindset and our emotions, and, like, obviously you could have chosen to be, like, sulk in that year, too. You're like, well, I've already done 3 years of kind of feeling like shit about school. Yeah. What's one more? Or you can, like, go through the really hard work of redirecting the way that you think about it. And, like, you know what? I can make this good. And I can make every bit of this enjoyable. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to do, but I'm going to do it. And you did it.
And I literally, like, and I truly think, like, when you struggle with something so much and when you're able to make it on the other side, that's when
it... goosebumps thinking about that.
Like, it makes it so much more worth it. Because I was, my junior year, middle of junior year, I was about to drop out. And then,
could you imagine?
No, and I didn't. And I was like, I'm going to, whatever. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to, like, literally stay here and have as much fun as I can because I'm not going to go to my room and do online school from my room. Like, no, I'm going to make the most out of this.
Dude, that's actually so cool. It's such a good way to put it, too. Like, every time, and Hannah and I were talking about, like, how we go through these, like, really dark places. And every time we make it out, we're like, okay, heck yeah, we did it. But it also just, like, makes that dark place so much, like, I don't know, grateful for it. Like, every time I come out of a dark place, I'm like, oh, well, this time I learned that. And, like, that time I learned this. So clearly I'm going to keep learning something every time it happens. It doesn't make it any more enjoyable. Like, not at all.
Yes.
But, we were kind of just realizing the fact that no matter what, we're going to have to go into a dark place again at some point in our lives because it's kind of just how the cycle works.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I pray that it's, like, not as bad.
Yeah, it gets a little bit more gentle every time. Like,
I actually do think that.
Because, and I think that that's also just part of, like, maturing and growing up. Like, I remember when I dealt with my depression in middle school, it was so deep and dark that, like, I didn't want to make it. I didn't know there was another side, number one. Number two, like, I just didn't have any hope. And then, like, the second time I dealt with it in college, I had a little bit more hope. I was like, okay, well, what can I do to kind of make it better and, like, make my environment better?
Yeah.
So I went home, and it helped. And then the next time I dealt with a really deep, dark place, I was like, all right, I know it's just a phase. It's going to go away. I'm going to get better. And then I did. And then now, like, every time it happens, they're, like, shorter, and they're not as long-lived. And I'm like, oh, here we go again. But there's always another side, and the grass is greener when you get over there. It just kind of takes a second.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's like going on a hike. It's draining. But then you get to the top, and you're like, oh, look at the view.
True. You are, like, really quick at metaphors.
They literally just play in my brain. Today, we were on a hike, and I'm looking at this tree, and I go, Hannah, isn't it crazy that this tree just started out as a seed? And, like, hundreds of years later, to this big, beautiful, magical thing. And I go, doesn't that just remind you that we don't have to, like, rush life? We can take as many years as we want. And I was like, I don't even know where I pulled that
I was like, damn, girl.
I'm like, what am I saying? I don't, guys, the way that I think sometimes is just, it's like I'm reading a children's book. Like, my brain is a children's book, but whatever.
I want it.
I'll share it.
I want it in mine.
Okay, next one. Do you have any more high school advice, or would you?
I really think just make the most out of it because it's like,
just
hey, you got to be there, and also you're young and cute, and like
exactly,
and you really don't have too many responsibilities.
Guys, I look back at pictures of me from. I remember I hated everything about myself in high school, and I think that this is something that's gonna keep happening over time. But like, hated every picture of myself in high school. Did not like what I looked like. I look back at pictures of me in high school, and I'm like, girl, you were adorable. Like, you did not have to be so hard on yourself, and you didn't have to focus so much on changing what you looked like for certain people or for certain reasons. So just, like, love yourself, you know? But I think that still happens to us. Like, I think we'll be 30 looking at pictures of us now while we're struggling with, like, self-image and stuff and be like, dude, what were you worried about?
Oh, gosh. I know.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
No, I'm going to look back and be like, dude.
Like, what were you complaining about again?
I can't wait till I'm 30 and I can look back and be like,
we did it. We made it. We made
like,
it out.
Wow.
The early 20s are a weird, weird phase. It's such a universal experience because it's like the fresh out of college / at that age, say, like, if you didn't make it through college like us, it's still the age where we're technically just graduating college, figuring out what the rest of our life is going to look like. And I don't know, just putting this pressure on ourselves. But that's another thing we've been talking about all weekend or week, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
That, like, we don't really have to put all this pressure on ourselves. And, like, being young and in your 20s doesn't have to be a time where you just pick one thing and roll with it. Like, you can still explore until you're 40 and 50 and 60. Like, we're also saying how grown-ups are literally just, like, us. But
no, grown-ups, like, when I tell you, have so much, have so much peace, and the idea that every grown-up still thinks that they're, like, 17, 18.
It's just comforting.
But, like, everyone has this mask on that they need to be more mature.
All of us.
Everyone does.
I'm like, for what? We can just go be little kids all the time. With responsibilities.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's just weird.
It is so strange. Back to the college ones. A lot of people ask, like, do you ever feel like you're missing out on college? I want you to go first. I want to hear your hot take on this.
For me, I do.
Well,
for me, I feel like I'm missing out, period.
Okay, valid.
I go, what about you? No. But, like, really quickly, I do, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I really do look at college kids and, like, the environment, since I mean, you know how much I love being around people. Yes. I love my friends. Yes. I love, like, I don't know. I just, like being young.
You're an extrovert.
And
and, like, you love people. Yeah, you just said that.
I do. But sometimes I like going to Alabama was so fun for me because it's like Ella has all her friends and the sorority sisters, and, you know, it's like going to parties or
just, like,
doing events and
something.
Yeah.
It is so fun.
And they're learning still, and it's like, yes, they're getting an education, but they're also having so much fun and they're young. But at the same time, I think that I'm also very grateful that I'm putting in the work now for my future self. So it's like, I did do a little bit of school. I can always go back to school, but I have...
One thing I always tell myself, like, school's really not going to go anywhere, and there's just so much pressure on doing it now. And
yeah.
But I feel that, though. Like, there's different phases where I'm like, you know, I kind of miss school or, like, wish I did school longer. But then I kind of think back to, I did. I spent a year doing college. Like, college, the very college way. And it was great, but it also wasn't really good for me long term, I don't think. So I kind of just, whenever I do miss it, I'm like, you know what? You did it. And I'm like, I don't know.
You did it more than me, though. So I think I have that, like, question mark of, like,
you're like,
what would it be like?
Yeah.
You know?
That's
but
very
if
fair.
you did it, like, I know you did it before COVID, right?
Yeah. It's actually so crazy to think about. Like, that was such a different time period of my life. Like, I feel like I'm such a different person from then, but I'm also the same exact person. And I also think, like, the way that we spent the past, like, 2 winters was so much like what college felt like.
Really?
That it makes me, I don't know, there's definitely still times I miss it. And I think that we both made the right decision. Like, everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And we've gotten to, like, do so many other cool experiences. Yeah. But college was fun. It's fun. And, like, I take, for example, Lisette literally loved every second of college. Yeah. And I'm like, and my best friend, one of my best friends, Courtney, too. Like, she did college. She's about to graduate early in December and got, like, the sickest job as a trauma nurse in the ER in, like, Washington, D.C. And I'm like, that is so freaking cool. Yeah. But it also just goes to show, like, we're always going to kind of compare, like, what other people are doing to what we're doing. And it's just one of those things where, like, if you're questioning, like, oh, like, I don't know if I want to go to school or not, or, like, I don't know how it's going to be or what it's going to, just trust that whatever decision you make is the right one. Like, don't sit there and be like, well, I should have done this or I should have done that, because I promise you did the right thing. And eventually it all, like,
and if you do want to go back to school, like, I always kind of think, like, there are so many people that, like, are in the same position that I'm in. Of they don't know if they want to go back and finish it, or
just wait till you're kind of sure, and then you can go back whenever. Didn't Bill Gates, like, drop out of college? Am I making that up? Or Steve Jobs or something?
Honestly,
probably,
but I can look it up.
It's okay. One of them or something happened like that, and we're gonna move on from college. College works for some people, works for doesn't. Next. Navigating your 20s, we've kind of, like, touched on that. We also kind of touched on highs and lows of living together. First time we met in person, I don't really remember, like, what our first encounter was. I know it was Michigan.
I'm trying to think.
But, like, was it awkward?
I just remember, like, we slept in the same bed for Mackinac Island, and it was, like, so cozy. I was like,
that was a fun little trip.
That was fun.
I remember, so none of us were 21. No one tell anyone that we broke the law. But we were, like, walking around, and we were asking people. This was the most humbling moment of my whole entire life. And, like, someone commented, like, what's you and Hannah's funniest memory together? This might be one of them. Oh, yeah. And I just unlocked a memory here. But we were in Mackinac Island. We're walking around. There's no cars on the island, right? And we're just kind of, like, asking people if they could buy us a bottle of wine.
So, no, we had, like, $20, like, cash in our hands.
And we were, like, I think I just went up to some guy. I was like, hey, handed him the thing. And I go, can you buy us some wine? And he literally ignored me. Like, full on ignored me and walked away. But, like, looked me dead in the eyes. And it was just horrible.
Wait, Natalie wasn't even 21.
No, Natalie wasn't even 21.
What?
Like, it's crazy.
That's
wild.
And
then I think we found some random kids our age to buy us wine, and they were, like, cute, and we talked about how they were cute or something.
Wait, we had to convince people.
Yeah, and we had one bottle of wine for the 4 of us, and we just sat with little paper cups and poured wine in them in the room and told stories about, like, our first love and our first, like it was like the getting to know each other.
Oh, that was so
really,
fun.
Really cute and wholesome.
That was so fun.
It was like we were literally playing icebreakers on our first trip together. That was really cool. Wow, good times. We were babies.
We were.
Time flies.
That was 2 falls ago.
2 falls ago.
Was that 2 falls ago? 2.
Yeah, 3. 2.
It
was 2020.
Thank gosh, we're not that old.
Oh, we're growing up so fast, though.
Dude, I know. It's really bad.
Is that you guys gotta let me know. Is that, like, a universal thing? Like, do we all kind of feel like time is just going by so fast? I hope the answer is yes. Please don't tell me that time is going slow, because then I'll panic even more.
Yeah.
Tell a memory about a time together. Literally just did that. What's something else? First thing that comes to mind, a memory together. Or, a squad memory or something.
There's so many.
There's really so many. Oh, one time, we've talked about this one today. First time we laid on the beach when we got here, we decided it would be a good idea to lay like by the water, and then we all like were napping on the beach, and a wave came and knocked us out and soaked all of us and all of our stuff. Never go too close to the water.
Yeah, it was definitely a humbling moment. Well, no one was sitting down by the waves.
Yeah, so we were like, let's go sit by the waves.
Oh, well, clearly we did not know what we were doing.
No, the waves here are very big.
Especially in the winter. And then this was also right when we first got here, and we were like, I was so excited. We just started screaming out the window. I don't know. We were romanticizing our life, and I think it's okay. Like, it's cringe to look back on. But, like, it was really wholesome in the moment. It was wholesome. And you know what? We screamed One Direction with the windows down every night. And isn't that... Moving on. We're just getting too nostalgic right now. That was so pure.
It's crazy to think about. Balancing family while traveling. We've talked a lot about this one, too. Yeah. You go first.
I was just going to say, like, I just miss my family a lot. Yeah. Like, all the time.
Yeah. And it's so hard, too. Because... Yeah. I don't know. It just is sometimes to communicate with everyone in your family.
Yeah.
And you just miss them all day long, all the time.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like the older I get, like, the more I just want to be by family and friends. And, like, that is truly all that matters to me.
And it is. It's like, I remember the first time I had been gone for, like, 6 months. And I'd never really been gone that long. Even when I went to college, I would come home every 3 weeks or so because I got homesick. But it was 6 months since I had been home, and I got home, and my brothers, like, looked so grown up. Their voices were deeper. No. Not that my parents looked older. Mom and Dad, you're not old, I promise. But, like, I just felt like time had gone by, and that was the first time it hit me. And I was like, one day I'm not going to be able to be around my family every single day. And, like, it was just crazy because I spent so much time being so annoyed that I was with my family all day, every day. And then I went home, and I was like, wait. I kind of miss arguing with them. I kind of miss my dogs barking and being annoying. I miss my brothers yelling at each other. And I don't want to miss them growing up. And then when it comes to traveling, it's so tough because it's like, this is all I've ever dreamed of doing is seeing the world and being able to kind of move around when I want to and go where I want to. But then I go to like back and forth with this conflict. I'm like, I miss my brothers. I miss my mom. Like I want to go, if my family's going to the movies and I'm not there, I have like FOMO. I get more FOMO of my family than I do of my friends or like anything.
I know.
It's crazy. But what's your advice for like someone who misses their family? What do they do?
Someone who misses their family, I feel like I annoy my oh my gosh, my brothers, my sister, my mom, my dad. Like I'll be like, hey, how are you today? And they're like, good. And I'm like okay, good. Like, more. What did you do? Like, I guess just try and stay in touch with them as much as you can. Whether it's like calling or texting or whether it's like, for me, I always like to know the next time I'm going home.
That's like, have something to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Like, cause then it just, like, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I see them in this amount of days
like,
and
maybe I don't see them right now, but at least I know I'm going to get to soon.
Yep. That's my best advice.
Okay. Next one is, how do you feel like yourself again after a breakup? So, like, I mean, I can, like, think of this question in so many stages, like, besides just a breakup. Like, whenever I find myself out of, like, a rut, it's hard to figure out who I am again. And I feel like it's kind of the same feeling as a breakup. But I'm like, I'm going to let you do the breakup one because I have been single for way too long. But how do you feel like yourself again?
Okay. I feel like after a breakup, like, honestly, the best thing you could do is like journal. I guess
journaling to the end forever.
Like genuinely, like I think tracking how you're feeling and what's going through your mind in like documenting how you feel.
Do it immediately. Don't wait to do it because I feel like especially right after a breakup, your emotions are all over the place.
Yes.
So if you don't write down like what you're feeling in that moment, it's gonna be different the next one.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to look back. Like I bet like looking back on old journal entries from like when you're going through the sad emotions versus like the I'm on my glow up emotions.
Right?
Like it's gotta be so freaking cool.
No, it is because it's like I was feeling this a month ago, but now I am so like I'm just in a completely different mindset. Exactly. And I think honestly like set boundaries for yourself of like okay, I'm not gonna like check in on them, or I am not going to, like, I think you really have to keep yourself accountable. Like, after a breakup, being like, all right, this happened for a reason.
It's
I'm
one
going
of those things
to.
where I think like after a breakup, no contact is super healthy.
Yep.
And I think that trying to keep contact is just, it just hurts people's hearts. Like,
because you have to know, you have to read the situation. You have to know your intentions, the other person's intentions. Literally, like, you have to journal about it, talk to your friends about it, like, sit in it for a little bit, because I feel like
hard. I feel like the no contact part is hard.
Yeah.
Because when I dealt with my breakup, it was a long time ago, and I didn't do the no contact thing. I tried to do the we're going to stay friends thing. And, like, I think that it would have just been easier on both of us had we just at least not been in contact for a while. Because now we haven't talked in, like, feels like years. But maybe, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
I vote no contact is healthy.
I vote that as well. I think that's very, very healthy. And I think that, like, journaling and just, like, being able to look back how you feel each day, because I feel like after a breakup, you go through, like, at least for a few weeks.
It's got to be a lot of different emotions.
You just go through the roller coasters of, like, is this right? Do I reach out? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, nope. You know what the intentions are.
Yep.
Go back to there, and you got to keep, moving forward for you. And so, like, what's going to benefit you and be the best for you? Because, like, clearly you got to stay focused on you and your goals. Like,
for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, you got to just stick to the decision, and, like, it's just hard because obviously when you go through different emotions, you question everything. Like, I'm in a totally not breakup scale or, like, situation. When I'm going through it, I'm like, who am I again? Like, how do I... And it's tough. It's so tough. But...
It's hard to make decisions when you're emotional.
Yes. Like, in Taylor Swift's new song, there's a line that she has. I think it's in Dear Reader, and I always skip Dear Reader, so I don't know exactly what the line is. But it's something like, never take advice from someone who's broken or something. And I'm like, low-key true.
Yeah.
I'm like, when I'm hurting, I do... Like, if I have to record an episode when I'm really down bad... I listen back to it sometimes, and I'm like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my advice just changes based on my mood, but that's okay.
Yeah.
What's next? We're going to do a couple more. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe it's already been 37 minutes.
Damn.
Wait, I feel like it's been like... Okay, anyways. Next is balancing work and life. What you got?
Oh, gosh.
We got nothing.
Like, it is so bad. I have tried to draw lines. Lexi's known the lines that I have tried to draw with friends and work, and like I have tried to make it so, like, okay, this is work time, this is friend time, blah 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 blah, because I want to just know what is going on. But it is, I'm horrible at it. It's really messed with my mind, honestly. Yeah. I've just given up at.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is so tough. And honestly, like, I just thought this one would be funny to answer because it's something that, like, I think we're constantly working on, and it's something that can't really be done. Yeah. Like, even right now, I'm like, is this work or is this life? Like, we're talking about life, yet it's kind of work, but it's fun. It's also hanging out. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just, it's a tough thing to do, and that's okay. I think that's, it is what it is.
How do you handle it? Genuinely.
Like, I try to... I think that what I do is, since our life is basically our work, when I'm doing things, like, in life, I'm always, no matter what, if I'm going to use it or not, I'm going to document everything that I'm doing. Because I just, like, love to do that anyways. And then I take time to, like, sit down and, I don't know how to put this into words. Like, I'll take everything that I documented and make it into work. Yeah. Like, I'll kind of take, like, say I want to make TikToks. Like, not that that's necessarily work. I don't know. I just kind of, like, try to always film, always document, but not always be sitting there making videos or posting things. Right. I don't know. And then I think, like, that's not even really what the work is. Like, that's the fun part, like, of work.
Do you ever have times where you turn off and you're like, this is for me and for me only?
I think that a lot of times when I journal is when I really turn off. Yes. And, like... Honestly, that might be the only time. Of course, there's so many moments with my friends where I'm not sitting there filming, and, like, not every detail of our lives are recorded, but...
No, yeah.
I think that it's always in the back of our, like, if we're ever doing so, and honestly, this might just be me, and it's one thing that I hate to admit, I don't like it, like, the other day I went to go watch the sunset, and we swam out to, like, this little island to watch the sunset, so we left our phones in the car, and I'm sitting there the whole time, and I'm like, I wish I could take a picture of this, and it was just, like, I'm like, I don't really want to feel like that, like, I needed to do that, and I'm like, I didn't need to do it for any specific reason.
Yeah.
It was just interesting.
Yeah,
And, like,
thought.
it is something that just constantly is in the back of my mind. I'm like, how do I don't know.
Like, should I be, like...
Yeah, I'm like, should I be making this work somehow? Or, like, I don't know. It is what it is. We'll never really figure out the balance, I don't think. And I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay, too. I think it's just important to have things that actually... like, relax you and are special to you, and I'm still trying to find what that is.
You're like, I still don't know.
For me,
I think that
I'm struggling.
I feel the most relaxed and away from work when I'm with my family.
Yep.
Like, that is one thing I've noticed, is just that being with my family makes me feel like I'm a little kid again, and I don't have to have responsibilities.
I know.
And just talking about this makes me miss my parents so much.
I know.
I can't wait to give them a big fat hug.
Oh.
Ugh. Anyways. Similarities and differences. And then we're going to end on this one because this is a nice long episode. I feel like we have so many similarities, but also so many differences.
For each other?
Yeah.
Yes. We have a lot of similarities.
We do. And we don't even really realize them.
I think we're both very creative people that want to make others happy.
Yeah, 100%.
And we both work, honestly, I feel like we work maybe too much.
Yeah, and
but
it's
we
crazy
work
because we also, like, have the time of our lives.
Exactly.
We're always on the grind without really even realizing it.
Like, I like the way you think of, like, trying to come up with new ideas and how can you do this and that, and it's like, I don't know, I think in the same way I try and
it's cool to have a
that
brain
way
that's
as well.
constantly spinning, because I talked about this, I think, in last week's episode. I was just saying that, like, I appreciate my ADHD so much sometimes because I think it is the reason that my brain is constantly going, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool to always have new ideas, and, like, sometimes it can be overwhelming to be constantly thinking of new things, but it's also freaking dope. But we definitely both have that, like, spinning mind. We're also both late to everything.
Oh gosh, yeah.
We're also both, I don't know, we have a lot of similarities. I can't think of any right now, and I honestly can't think of, like, like, very obvious differences either. But there's a lot.
I think that you give me, like, a 70s, like, retro girl, like, you, like, van life,
Talk to
like
plants,
like, exactly,
talk to animals.
like you do have that sort of I feel like in your I'm not even, like, that's a cringe word, like, aesthetic.
We do,
but, like,
yeah, I would say we definitely have
do you know what I
aesthetic.
mean?
Yeah, trying to see where I visualize you,
dude.
like, you're
what
a 90s
am I?
girl.
Really?
Yeah, like 90s. I don't know. I think of Friends when I think of you. I think it's when you first got your haircut. You remind me, but I also never watched Friends, so I don't know. Okay. I can't really figure out where I see you or, like, what I see you doing.
I think I, like, try hard to be, like, in, like, the 60s, but then also I'm just like that. But then
I can't visualize the 60s right now. I kind of see.
Sometimes I do. I feel like sometimes, like,
I could see you as such, like, a cool corporate girl. Don't know how to explain it, but, like, I think you could rock, like, what are those pants called? Like,
blazers?
Like, yeah, like blazers and, like, cool work pants. What are those called? Slacks?
Like trousers?
Trousers? I don't know. Fancy pants? I just, like, can visualize you in the coolest freaking,
in, like, an office
corporate
being,
outfits,
like,
with, like, a really beautiful big office with, like, a penthouse view.
Bro, why can I see that for me too?
I also very much see you in a city versus, like, I see myself in, like, a forest. So I think that's one of our differences.
I feel like I see myself in, like, the suburbs.
I could see that too. I think that maybe just, like, when you're in the city, you seem, like, happy and enjoying it. So I think that's why I could see you there. And, like, same way, like, when I'm in the forest, that's when I seem happy. So that's why I see me there. I don't know.
I don't know where I'm happy, TBH.
I'm like, I think that's something we're constantly figuring out. So that's that.
Like, what did we just say?
I'm like, what was that? Who knows? Last one, and then we're done. I think that I want to do, there's a bunch I have written down, but we've kind of talked about a lot of them. I think this is a fun one to end on. If we didn't do social media, first thing that comes to your mind, what would your job be?
Whoa.
You're like, about that.
Okay.
I think that I would be a teacher and I would be a photographer on the side.
Okay, I was just going to say, I would probably be like a videographer or do something very creative in that field.
Dude, you could be a freaking director.
And that's what...
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You being a director, since you're so confrontational, you'd be like, you, move over there. Like,
you,
no, don't
there,
do that. Like, that
nope.
looks bad. Or like, yes, that is giving everything
I'm
I
like,
need to give.
all right, let's go, guys. Like,
100%.
Oh my God. But I've wanted to be a director since I was like a kid.
We should like direct a short film.
Dude, I'm down.
We're, guys, coming soon to you.
No,
Meloche Hidalgo short film.
I am so
like
down.
Taylor Swift song or something?
Probably like, yes. Oh my gosh.
Wait, we could have.
Wait, I directed Ellie's music video. I filmed a music video for her over the weekend.
Way.
Yes, and I have to edit that.
Shut up.
Wait, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it. Anyways, guys, get pumped. We're gonna end on that note. But teacher and videographer in the house.
Let's go. I also could see you as a teacher.
I just like love
elementary school teacher.
Yes,
oh my gosh,
100%.
so
or middle
good.
School. But I think it ended up being elementary
middle school.
Who knows? Well, maybe we'll do it in like our next life, or maybe in this life. Who knows? We're gonna figure it out.
Maybe
one
in
day at
2
a time.
years.
We'll see. I'm like maybe next week. But yeah, that's Hannah and Lexi. That's like the story. That's the story of us. That's everything we got.
I love it. I want to say thanks for having me on. This was so fun and cozy. And if you made it to the end, you're awesome.
Yeah, if you made it to the end, DM us both and say, what should they say? I
heart you, for real, director, teacher, or like, I don't know. That was really cringe. Don't say that. I go, don't say that. Oh my God.
I love you guys. And if you want to hear from Hannah again, let me know because she'll be around.
Please.
She's coming to my birthday party. I'm getting a mechanical bull.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Okay, well, we love you guys. And I'll talk to you next Monday.
Peace.
Bye, guys.